Welcome to this workshop in the xBUILD project. And this workshop will about tech pitch and interactive evaluation, an insight session. We'll have 3 tech companies that will talk about several functionalities and several solutions that they have to the textile and construction sectors. And after these presentations, we'll have some time to discuss about that. So the agenda will start with this welcome that I'm starting. Then we'll start with Fernando Vasconcelos from the company Mind that will talk about the technological solutions to measure or mass customized production. Then we'll go to João Oliveira from the F3M company that will talk about the company solutions for systems interoperability across textile and clothing value chain. And then we have Miguel Ribeiro from SmartX company that will talk about the solutions of the company for defect inspections, traceability, and digitalization of information and processes. At the end, Helena Moura from CITEB will also make the final remarks. So with no more delays, because the most important is to start with the presentations. We'll start then with Fernando Vasconcelos. He is Marketing Director, International Sales Coordinator at Mind. And as I said, he'll present the technological solutions to measure to, measure to...
Make to measure.
Make to measure, exactly.
Make to measure or mass customization.
Or mass customized production, exactly. It was missing me the right words. Thank you, Fernando. So you can start.
Problem. Okay, so...
I'll start sharing to you.
Yeah, let me share. Let me share. Okay. Okay, I think you can now see the...
Yes, we can.
You can, okay. So, well, first of all, thank you for this invitation, and thank you for all that are here present to listen to this workshop and to participate in this workshop. We know that time for each one of you is critical, and so we do appreciate your presence here. So, to start this presentation, let me explain a bit what this is about. And we are not just talking about fancy personal signatures or just make believe personalization. This is really the possibility of making normal models for quantities of models, just quantity of one, and being able to mix this with more massive productions without loss of productivity or loss of organization. And it's also about the capacity to quickly adjust from channel changes or consumer-driven changes that we know are always even more frequent and quick. But it's also, as I told you, the capacity to manage orders of different size of magnitudes and composition. So you can have orders that are for a single model. You can have orders which are for multiple models. You can have orders which have a large scope of different sizes or a large scope of different types of tissues within the same with the same model, and you can have single ones. So it's really about all the management of all this diversity, and this makes really mass customization for all. So why is this happening? Well, for a number of reasons, but just to name a few, because of course the COVID situation really showed how this is relevant. The multitude of online channels has been multiplying, even for this type of product, which was not believed to be a winner in this type of selling, but it is now a reality. And this has introduced a perception from the end user that he is allowed to choose much more tailored fabrics, much more tailored looks than he really was used to. Why? Well, because in the virtual space, space is infinite. So you can have 1,000 models, no problem. The same is not true in a physical store. Then another reason which is really stressing this need for less quantity, and less quantity means the need for flexibility. This need is the need for lesser level of stocks, and also, of course, the pressure for sustainable production, which for as a consequence needs less wasteful processes. So all of this is driving the need for quicker response, because if you have shorter stocks, if you have shorter orders, you must be quick to fill the supply chain. So one question that may arise is, okay, this is very well, but will the implementation of this will it not be too expensive and out of reach for small to medium companies? Well, really not. It's not true, because the integrated view that we have from conception to production is really something which also helps companies to gain on terms of other things, and really from to up to the automation of the cutting process. It's really just an integration of several systems, as we will see. It's not a single monolithical expensive solution. So as I told you, sorry, this is not really one proposal which defends a monolithical application. And this ensures that each case, each company can choose just the parts of the system that are useful. And this means that the impact of this solution cannot be measured only from the cost side, although, as I've told, the stock and material consumption reduction is a factor, a very important factor on this trend. But it's not only that; it's also that from the revenue side, the new market opportunities that arise are also to be considered. Why? Because you will be able to respond to smaller orders, to many new independent clients, and even to be able to respond to larger companies that need resupply of their supply chain in a more timely and quick to respond situation. And you can manage that with other production that you already have committed to. So in this presentation, I'm going to address one of the possible applications that we have developed. There is another one which is slightly more target just for the knitting process, but I'm going to talk about a more general approach. If you are then interested on the knitting part, which is far more short and in scope, I can of course give you that information. You have my contacts on the presentation. But this system is something which we have already developed for the footwear industry, and at the beginning, we will address only the form-fitting clauses. That mean just to stick to the body clauses. The revolution here is that we are going to start with a 3D modeling perspective and then derive to 2D by flattening algorithms. This is the inverse of what is normally applied in this industry. And the challenge, of course, is to be able to derive those patterns for different size and different also make to measure body measures. Okay, so that's the challenge that we had to overcome. So besides the challenge, those two technical challenges, the other ones are, of course, the capacity to handle micro orders against larger orders, or even to have the capacity to manage micro orders inside encompassing master orders. So all of this is just cutting cell management, which we have also developed for automatic cutting. Then, of course, the material management and order handling at the local level, and we don't do this alone. We don't do this in strong collaboration with any existing ERP from the company, or if it exists and if it has such a capacity. If not, we can take the part which the ERP does not really address. So this is a versatile solution from those companies which have a very robust and up to state-of-the-art ERP, in which the local management is almost unnecessary. But for those companies which have only simple ERPs, we can do that part also. Of course, for this to work, there is a part of this system, which is the possibility of acquiring make-to-measurement data at the point of sale, and this can be done from the most fancy up to scale automatic measurements system, or the simple, almost tailored.
We appreciate you finishing your presentation.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm finishing.
we will have...
So just to address that, this of course this encompasses also robotics at the picking station. Okay, and that's all.
Thank you, Fernando. So we'll start now. Share, please stop sharing, because what we ask now the audience.
Let me do that.
So the idea
now, quickly stop sharing.
Yeah. So now the idea is to start some interactive with the audience. So we ask everyone to do one of the two things. So you can scan the QR code and access to the Slido with some questions, or you go to the Slido website and insert the code that is there to assess the questions that will appear. So scan your QR code, please, now, or go to slido.com and insert the code 2207607. And now you will be, everyone is, I think, already there, so we can start seeing the answers. So we have already some answers there. Someone is, I hope everyone, so if someone has some difficulty and access the Slido, please let us know. We can also put the code on chat for the ones that for some reason don't have time to see it. Bruno, please put the code. We have already some, but we have more audience than, we have 8 answers, but we have 32 participants, so it seems like most are until now are not sure if they want,
Yes.
or if they are considering a make to
Yes,
measure.
for those that are unsure, my comment is the following: we really must see this in the full scope of what this means. This is not just only the normal make to measure conception that we have. Make to measure must be understood at a far larger scope, meaning that if you really have a large range of products, a large range of sizes, a large range of variations within the models, you are already very close to a make to order, a make to measure situation.
If you have some difficulty with Slido, please let us know. But if you go to the website and write in the initial page the code, you'll see immediately this question to be answered. And this is important to us to understand what are considered in terms of starting these kind of solutions. So we have now, we still have most of them with unsure, but we have also someone that say, yes, I'm considering it, and others are saying, no, we are not considering it yet. We have no one that is not implementing it. That could be the case.
Okay.
Someone is already implementing, but it seems like no. So we can give a little bit more time for the participants to connect and answering. It's important to go to the website or to go to Slido, because we'll have more questions, and it's important to be there to assess the other questions. But I think this is more or less going on, so we can go for the second question. Now it's important to say what are the main difficulties you think it can happen when try to scale up make to measure production. So we have already some answers. So we have two logistics, write down in a different way, but about the same.
Yeah, it's that's normal because it is the main issue that you have. Yeah.
So we have more questions. I imagine the audience is still starting to understand, but it's relevant. It's interesting to use and to answer to this. So we have no clients' interest on that. Do you think the clients are aware, or they are asking for that, or this is indeed a mindset?
This client interest depends a lot on what you are thinking about make to measure. If you are thinking about make to measure in really the traditional sense, yeah, it's not for everyone. But in this case, we are thinking about a much larger definition of make to measure. Yeah, because for instance, customization complexity, this And this depends on what you are offering. And the system that we propose defines exactly what are the variants that are allowed. And so it's not a free make to measure environment. It's a controlled environment, because otherwise it's impossible to deal with complexity.
That's why customization complexity can be.
This can be dealt because it's limited in the terms of what you are able to achieve.
Customize.
It's not full creativity freedom. And that's not even what the end customer likes. We are not designers of clothes. If you ask me to design a shirt, well, maybe it will be comical, but it will certainly not be wearable. So that's not that's not that's not the case that we are making. But I can choose the color, I can choose the size, I can choose how I like my sleeves, and that I can choose, but from a defined range of possibilities, not a free one.
Yeah. Cost versus profit is another difficulty.
But again, that depends on what you are thinking, because if you are thinking about the possibility of opening new markets and without losing the ones that you already have, because you can manage the complexity of having several models being produced at the same time, that only increases the productivity, and it does not affect costs.
Okay, of course, it depends on the type of and the market you work in.
Yeah, of course.
So it seems like there is more or less no activity. So probably we have already collected the information that the audience seems more relevant. The operational efficiency, do you think it's relevant or not? It can be.
I think that's the easy problem to solve, and one which we have already solved, at least until the cutting phase. I know that from the cutting to the sewing process, then that part of the process is not easy to manage, because it's a very human labor intensive resource, and a very qualified one. And so I know it's probably the place where that may be still an issue.
Okay, so I think you can go to the third question.
Yes, of course.
So now we would like that you answer the question: what is the biggest impact you think made to measure can have? And please select the two most relevant from these four that are presented. So we have already some answers, and it seems like the environmental impact and reduction in lead time seems to be, for now, the two most important. Management improvements for now. No one vote on that. Let's see. Environmental impact seems to have the more relevant. If you are that you know very well the made-to-measure solution and how it's applied, what would be your the selection you do for the two most relevant impacts in your case, Fernando?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's certainly reduction in lead time. This is the most critical factor, and then the decrease in costs. Of course, the environmental impact also exists, but for me, the two most relevant ones are reduction in lead time and decrease in costs. Those are the gains that you can almost immediately take advantage of.
Of course. And you can say that the decrease in cost is directly related also in the environmental impact.
Yeah, it's an important side effect, but we must realize it's still a side effect, but it's an important one, of course. But I don't want to make greenwash out of this.
Yeah, of course. That is not your focus.
No.
Right.
I like green, but
so it seems like everyone is the ones that answered. Thank you very much. The others, I think they don't answer because they are okay with the solution that is presented. So probably it's okay. So we can go now. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you very much. So we go now to the second pitch. This time we have with us João Oliveira, that is Director of Corporate Business at F3M Information Systems, the company. And João will talk about the solutions for systems interoperability across the textile and clothing value chains, and another very interesting issue. So, João, you can start. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marisa. Good morning, everyone. I will share my screen. I think you already see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, you can see.
Okay. I'd like to thank you for the invitation and to you all to attend to this workshop. And it's a pleasure to share F3M experience in developing solutions for interoperability across textile clothing value chain. I will do a short presentation of F3M and then I will present solutions to the textile and our project in the interoperability and what we are doing and where we are working to trying to solve this issue in the industry. F3M is a software solution, software house, and we develop and implement software for various business areas. We have also technological consultancy and certified training to support the implementation of our IT solutions. And the institutions and the companies that use our software belong mainly to these four business areas: social economy, health units, retail, and of course the textile and clothing industry. Our IT solutions for the textile and clothing industry are based on our ERP, the Produce, that is provided as a software as a service and allows the clothing manufacturing process management integrated with the other areas of the company, such as purchasing, stocks, service, subcontracting, and finance. For the interoperability across company process, our work on this issue began with the IDT for CTI project with support of European funds. We start by identifying the main interoperability challenges in the clothing industry that we had to face, and we work in these four challenges: the distributed production process, the complexity of the information, such as text, documents, image, phone calls, among other type of information. And the different management systems that the companies use, and also the lack of data model for interoperability. Our work in the project was based on these three working areas: the data model, the cloud service with the syntactic and semantic interoperability challenges, and also user interface application for the user that doesn't have a management system for the production. At the end of the project, we completed the Plus Connect, that is the solution that we have, which consists of interoperability service and the user app. And we also adapted the ERP produced to communicate through this service. As we can see in this image, Plus Connect aims to interoperate production information between the companies in the chain viral. And through Plus Connect service, we can share production orders, list of materials, quantity produced, message, and other documents with other companies in the process. Assessing the project results, we found that there was still work to be done to solve two main points that we work, but also needed to be done after that. That was the lack of integration with the other ERPs, and the fact that Plus Connect is not a standard outside the F3M client environment. So right now we are working to solve the points identified. We are participating in the TextPact project together with other software houses and the textile and clothing entities. We are using a reference architecture for the data model, that is the EBIS. It's a European Public-Private Initiative. And also the information communication architecture, the IDS, that is the International Data Spaces Architecture that allows to communicate information between different systems. This project is scheduled to finish in December of 2025 and aims to provide the textile and clothing industry with a standard communication system. That is my presentation, and I thank you all for your time. If you have any questions in the future, you can also use my email address to send your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, João. So now that we have the presentation done, we'll start again with a new cycle of questions. So Bruno will share for the presentation of F3M. We go now to you can scan the QR code that is over there to access that, or go to slido.com and enter the code that is there. So the code for these questions is 1235933. So please go to slido.com and insert the code. We'll wait a little more just to give you time to go to the Slido and insert information. I'll do also. I hope everyone has time. The QR code will disappear now, but Bruno has already put it in chat, the the link to the Slido website and also the code for these questions. So please go there. And now we can start with the first question. So you can answer it. The first question is, do you think the Plus Connect solution could add value to your organization? So you can. So we have already some questions. Most of them are saying that it had some value, significant value, or unsure, don't know, are with same kind of participant. So although this capacity to connect different systems in different companies where we have a industry that has so segmented, we have a lot of suppliers in in the supply chain of textile. It's relevant that systems can communicate between them. Yes, Sean.
That is a issue that the auto industry has solved many years ago. That is integrating the value chain systems, and it's because the companies have main labor intensive. It's more difficult also, but is needed to reduce the lead time and to have more information about the whole process. The company that manage the production process, the manufacturing process, need information about these their other companies that participate in the process. So it's important. The issues is important. We have the services and app to help users use the system, and we are participating with the other software houses to integrate different management systems to do this integration of information. So I hope at the end of the project we can provide the companies of this industry with a solution that regarding the system that they have, they can use and share information of the process.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it seems like most of the answers are on the yes, it could have some value. Some of them are not sure yet, and we have also some that say that can have significant value. So we can go to the second question, and this is, which process in your organization have the biggest challenge related with FTSM project? Distributed production process, information complexity, diversity of system used. So it's only examples that are over there. You can write down what you think are the biggest challenge. So you can do it right now and start saying to us what you think is the biggest challenge. Information complexity, it seems like.
But
do we have time? Yeah.
The main issue that we found also, because right now you use email, phone, and documents that on paper that we send to our partners in the production, and share that information with the system needs to have a common language and integrate this all kind of information. The information variety is important to share with the other company.
Yeah. So the companies use different sources. They can do it by phone, they can do it by mail, they can do it by WhatsApp. Different
Right now
sources.
they use that. Okay.
Mhm.
The main challenge is put that kind of information in one system that I use. Okay. I want to have my application, management application, and put the information there, and the information go to the other person in the other company through the system.
Of course. And
Right
with
now,
information, yeah.
Right now, you have to use different systems. Okay, you have to use your email and export some information from one system to the email to send to the other person. You have to use the phone to clarify some information with the person on the other company. So, is the information complexity and the different systems that we use to communicate the information are, to me, the main issue. Of course, the system and the model, data model definition are the solutions, but the challenge to overcome is I think the information complexity and the different systems that we have to use.
So start to first use only one centralized system to communicate, then the information be structured more or less, or at least, and then we need translator to be able to communicate with different systems and different language between the different companies that are involved.
We need a common language. So the data model is that the common language that different systems have to use. They have their own language, but on the integration in the interoperability, you need to have a common language, semantic and syntactic language to integrate the information, different information or different language between the different systems of the companies.
But for the companies that have already a system in place and with their own language, they'll need to change what they have to this common language, or it can happen to have like a translator, as I call it. And
they need to do the component that integrate with the system. Okay, they doesn't have to change their system, but they have to have a translator, a component that receive the documents on that language and translate to the system. This is needed, and that is we and other software houses are working on in the TechSpact project.
Great. Let's go to the last question and see what our audience has to say about it. So the question is, does your organization management system already integrate production data with systems from other organizations, or is the information shared outside the system? So please. So we have here still 3 answers. So yeah, now we start to change. So most of the answers until now is that the information is not shared and there is no integration with the external systems.
Yes.
This is more or less common to find, no?
Yes, that is what we find, or we found on the industry. So it's normal. Some companies are working on that or integrate with some partners, but mainly integration is not there. Okay.
But now we have some information that yes, it's fully automated
Yeah.
integration. That is great. But,
Yeah.
do you think that this question of integration and communication between systems in different companies, do you think one challenge is that we are afraid that opening our possibility to communicate between different systems in different companies, the information to be shared is more than the ones that we give access to. So we have an open door to
Yes.
others entering in our company. This is something that concerns users or not?
Some, I think, they want to manage the information that they share. Okay, if the system share all the information, they don't control some information. So yes, I think it's a issue, but the the gains of the shared information is more important than this issue, I think. The system has already shared some information about the financial documents like invoices and other documents. Our working is on the information of the production. Okay, the production order, the dyeing order, the manufacturing order, and then how the state of the production is. Okay, so it's not about the financial documents or the transportation documents, but more about the production documents and state of the production that is important on this project and on these interoperability systems.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. As you say, the companies are already connected with the government platforms, and there is a lot of communications that are digital nowadays. Even, as you said, the invoice are digital and they are communicate between different entities, and of course. So there is an issue that is there is the possibility of a cybersecurity issue, but is something that you are aware and something that also I imagine you are taking care in order to reduce the risk of being attacked.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, with the IDS architecture, we have orientation of the components that we have to have on the integration to do the peer-to-peer data sharing, and that sharing is securely and reliable. We have our identity, so the company that received the information knows that the information came from our system and is reliable because there are entity that guarantees this communication.
Well, it seems like we have already collected information, so we stopped with every questions with same quotation. So
Yes.
we have a little bit of
Nice.
the 4 options. So we'll start. Thank you so much, João.
Thank you.
So we can go now to the 3rd pitch. This time we have Miguel Ribeiro, he's Director of Research and Development at SmartX, and the pitch will be about SmartX solutions for defect inspections, traceability, and digitalization of information and processes. So Miguel, you can start. Thank you so much.
Hello, good morning. Can you see my screen? Okay, perfect. First of all, thank you for the invitation to be here today and present a little bit of the work that we are doing. And starting with the the problems and why SmartX started. SmartX started very focused in the part of knitted fabrics, a lot related to the origin and the background of one of our founders. And like in many processes in the textile industry, there's a lot of textile waste, there's a lot of market challenges, and also the issue of human inspection that brings a lot of problems into the knitted part of the process. And these are the topics that we've been addressing throughout the recent years of SmartX. We started with the first system we call SmartX Core, which is an inspection system for circular knitting machines, where we are doing the inspection in real time of the fabric at the time it's being produced. And for this, we're developing hardware and software that is built in-house. We're building cameras, sensors, computers that took place on the factory floor. And this combined with software and also machine learning, we're able to collect images of the fabrics, look for defects in real time, and then depending on the type of defect that we manage to find, we either store the image of the defect and classify the role based on that information, or if it's kind of a continuous defect, we are able to stop the circular knitting machine and avoid that the defect will be continuously produced, eventually sending a roll to waste. Just to give an idea of type of defects that we are talking about and how hard it is to see them. These are some examples of defects like elastin lines, very small lycra dashes, yarn contaminations, thick yarns, needles, holes, oil stripes, or oil spots. And these can be found in many different types of textile structures, in different types of textile of raw materials. So it's a very complex process, and this is really complex to do this using machine vision and machine learning. And imagine doing this by a person standing 8 hours looking at the machine or looking at the inspection machine. So it's a very complex process that we are complementing with this type of technology. Combining with SmartX Core, we're also starting to develop SmartX Facts, and this is a software-based solution where we are creating and gathering a lot of information, not just about the process, but also connecting our platform together, existing ERPs, so we can have integrated information that can be easily shared, can be easily addressed, and can be easily taken action upon, not just information that will be hard to go through. So in SmartX Fact, we are collecting different informations from production statistics. Since we have a lot of sensors inside of the machine, we can collect a lot of information that many times it's not available for the factory manager. Collecting machinery statistics, how it's performing, the problems they had, the type of defects that it may cause, and how we can address them. And also very important role statistics, where you can create a lot of information on the role, creating kind of the digital map of the role. Using this digital map, you're also able to automatically create the role without the need for a person to do this. And this will speed up the entire inspection process, since we can classify the role as a good quality role. It won't have to be inspected. This information can be shared with the client. So you can jump a few steps inside of the production and help to facilitate the process. And this is kind of a typical dashboard that you can get with the different types of roles. We're also developing SmartX Loop, which is a traceability tool that is connected to SmartX Core and SmartX Facts. And for this, we're developing the part, we have developed the part of the unremovable labels that are placed in the role once the role is produced. And this will be kind of the idea of the role throughout the rest of the processes, where we can trace what's happening to the role, where it is, and what additional processes we are putting on top of this role. This is combined, of course, with that automatic data collection, and it's not a closed solution. We're also doing a lot of integrations with other ERPs so that we can get and collect the information and share the information throughout the value chain. So what's inside of a Loop Passport? Knitting facilities and dress, production details, types of fabrics and structures, production weight, knitting production order, and also information about the quality of the roll. And most of this information, many times, it's either written on a paper that can be lost, can be filled in the wrong way. The information is spread, and this is a way of concentrating the information into this Loop Passport that can be easily addressed and checked by anyone in the value chain. So kind of becomes the customer warranty and the way of knowing the origin of the role, the characteristics of the role, and kind of solve or mitigate many problems that many times come up between the companies. So what do we gain using these technologies? Well, better fabrics with happier customers. We embrace technology for better decisions, which is key for these technologies. Reducing waste for a better future, because we're reducing a lot of waste throughout the rest of the process. To give you some ideas of the results, in a knitting machine, we can save this data that we've been collecting over 130 to 32 kilograms per month and saving 22 hours of production. And of course, this also has a high environmental impact, saving water, CO2 emissions, and also preventing energy waste. To close, this wouldn't be possible without our clients, investors, and of course our partners and textile companies that have been working and supporting us during this long road. And of course our dear team responsible for the development of the technology and to finalize Just Leave It with our mission to empower textile factories to produce with zero waste and full transparency. So, thank you, and looking forward for the questions.
Great. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you so much. So you know now how this rolls. So the next step is Bruno will share the information on the slide of our SmartX questions. So here you are. So again, you can scan QR code or go to slido.com and write down the code 2231884. So we can go there now and so we give just a little more seconds to the ones who want to scan the QR code with mobile phone or go to the slido.com and enter with the code for this round of questions. Again, 2231884. So now you have entered, I imagine, so we can start seeing the answers. So the first question is, what do you think is the biggest impact that the reduction or elimination of effective production would have? And you should select the two most relevant from the four that is presented. So for now, the two most are environmental impact and decrease in costs related to complaints. Let's see if more questions appear, but so environmental impact seems to be one of the most relevant. Miguel, is more or less the same that you were expecting, or do you see something that is not appearing and you were it was supposed or you expect to appear?
Well, the first two, environmental impact and the decreased costs, are kind of usually the biggest concerns of the companies and some of the things that they're working the most on. Of course, also depending on the persona that you are talking with in the factory. If you talk to a factory owner, the part of decreasing costs will of course be one of the main concerns, to make sure that it has a profitable and viable company. And we're talking about a part of the process, the part of knitting, where the margins are very low. So this part of saving is extremely important. The environmental impact is also increasingly growing concern for everyone. And of course, will also have impact in the performance of the company, in the way that the company is perceived by their clients, which also has been a growing concern for the companies. A lot of pressure from the fashion brands for more sustainable production, and also a way to demonstrate that it's sustainable and that the data that then they are presenting is reliable data. And the part of digitalizing the entire process, having platforms that collect this information, that it's trustworthy information, has also been a very growing concern for the companies. And something that we start now doing, the part of knitting and using then Loop, you can expand this throughout the rest of the value chain.
The better relation with clients was not considered as one of the two most relevant impacts, but I'm sure that this is also relevant because you are giving more transparently what you are giving to the client, the level, the grade.
Again, it depends a lot on the persona. If you're talking about with someone that is the one responsible for dealing with a company that's going, for instance, to receive the rolls of fabric, I think this will be one of the biggest concerns, because they got a lot of complaints, a lot of discussions with the company about the type of defects, the origin of the defects, and having first the digital map of the roll with the defect, and then the classification of the rolls, and then when the roll arrives to the dye house, for instance, they know that that roll came from that company. It creates kind of the trust between the companies. And when we are talking about a lot with dye houses, also to understand the process, because the impact doesn't stop just in the part of knitting; it expands until the final garment. And we're doing some studies that demonstrate this. And when you go to the dye houses, many times they're like, no, we received the rolls from this company, they're really good, but we received the rolls from this company and they're kind of, a lot of problems, a lot of discussion, a lot of fighting. And having this type of technology that validate then accelerates the process, because it reduces the need for the inspection, either leaving the factory or entering the other factory. But will also kind of place the companies that use this type of technologies in a better position with the clients, because they're giving them more guarantees that the quality of the fabric is good. Or if it's not good, they will know exactly what they will be receiving, which is also very important for the production planning. So it's kind of building trust between the companies and improving the relations with them. So this part of better relations with clients, it's very important, of course.
Great. So it seems like we have the final scores. Environmental impact is the most selected one, and then decrease in cost rate to complaints. So I think now we can go to the second question. And second is, what challenge do you face in your company related to quality control and traceability that you feel could be solved by technology that either does not exist or you haven't identified yet? So here is open text. You can say what challenge do you face related to quality control and traceability that can be solved by technology. So you can start right down. This one, it seems like
Yeah,
They
open
need to
questions
think
are,
about.
yeah, it's not a very easy or
Mhm.
simple question. But it's an important one. From the beginning, we spent countless hours in the factories with the factory owners, with the operators, with production managers to really to understand this. What are their problems, and how the technology that we are developing can help them. And this has been key in the growth of SmartTechs, and not just the current products, but the new ones that we are developing, is to not develop the products for ourselves, but develop the products to address the company's needs, the textile company's needs, because otherwise we'll have a beautiful product that no one will want. And there's a lot of examples of this in our case, looking at the startup world. Even yesterday, we had an investor, a SmartX investor here, that spoke a little about this, his experience in previous startups where they develop beautiful products, but at the end, they were developing the products for themselves, not for the companies. So no one bought them at the end. And this is a very important question to make us think on what do we need, and if it's available or it needs to be developed, and in which direction we can push.
Yeah, and then maybe some challenges are more related to quality control and others with traceability. But you can write down for one or other or both. So we have a complexity of supply chain, I imagine, is one of the challenge. Then you have manual logging of products details at each stage of manufacturing process, as it is manual, prone to some errors. Yeah. So I imagine that also in the quality control is not measured in the same way for the different stage of the products. If you have the yarn, you measure the quality control in the same way. If you have a fabric, woven fabric or knitted fabric, if you have a final product, when you have the dyed product, if you have some kind of finishing that gives some performance to the product, we have another type of quality control measurement. So also that can be complex.
It can be even sorry to interrupt, but it can be even more complex, because even for the same processes, different companies will have different ways of well, the process will be different, and the way of evaluating, for instance, the quality will be different between the companies, and mostly between regions. We are not just focused in the Portuguese or European markets. We are looking also a lot to Asia, to other countries that's really strong, where a lot of companies are at the moment, and the way that they classify the defects, the way they classify the quality of the rolls, the way that they do all the process, it's very different from country to country, even more from company to company. And that's, of course, the tricky part when you want to develop a product that is suited to all of the companies without needing to do a lot of changes in the product, because if it implies a lot of changes in the product, it will be more expensive for the companies. It will be more complex for them to adopt, because to have a high cost, and it will be hard to leave these manual processes that are, of course, prone to errors, and it's something that we want to contribute to avoid in the future. Not just focus on SmartX technology, but also integration with other technologies that are on the factories, which is, of course, a critical part.
And even with some companies has their own quality controls with the labs, and they do some test analysis related with some of the characteristics of the products, and that can also be integrated and insert, I imagine, in the passport or in the grade that you give to the product in terms of quality. This is something that you think about, or is nothing? Is not one of the questions is that you don't consider it?
Yeah, it will be all about integrations. What we are doing with Loop and the part of inspection is the classification of the roles, and then using this classification, the role can go directly to the client if it's a good quality, or if it has a low quality, it will go to inspection to decide if it makes sense to send it to the client or well, give it another destination. So saving a lot of time in the part of
But
inspection.
imagine that also related with this kind of knitted fabric, we have the stability, dimensional stability of the knitted fabric that was measured in the laboratory. This can also be integrated in the information to the client, or it's not, and is something that you don't think about, at least.
At the moment, I think it's not part of SmartX Loop, but then it's a matter of assessing the need for this type of information, and then get this information into the SmartX Loop passport and SmartX Loop, or other way around. Just give information about the role to another platform that will have this information about the parameters of the fabric. And the passport and the label that's on the roll will feed this platform with information of the location of the roll. So we don't see Loop as kind of a closed platform where SmartX needs to collect all the information. It can be a physical mean to trace the roll and then direct information to another platform. It's this flexibility will be important for everyone in the value chain.
Okay, great. So it seems that we don't have more inputs for this question, so we can go to the final one. So the question is, how do you rank the following challenge in daily operations? So the idea is to put in relevance order. You can move it to the first place, second, third, and fourth place. We have already some. We have already some reactions. It seems like the first one is quality related issues. So you are in the right, right path, solving the quality related issues, or some of them. Interoperability is the second one. Supply efficiency third, and machine upgrades fourth. These results is something that you were expecting, or you have some surprises here with the results of for these questions?
If I would rank them, I think we would rank them this way. So yeah, I think it's a good result. Quality related issues, of course, it's one of the key topics, the first topic that we started addressing at SmartX. But then there's all the other ones that are related between them. Machine upgrade, because we need to have technologies that are that can be integrated in existing machines, because it's usually a very big investment, depending on the machine, of course, from the companies. So retrofitting is always a very good solution for the companies, and easier in terms of investment and time, of course. And supplier efficiency, interoperability, I think it's also very close topics, because what you see a lot is also the need for education inside of the companies, because we can work with a company that has SmartX everywhere, everything digitalized, but then they need to work with their suppliers and with their clients to integrate the information and make sure that they're talking the same language and being as efficient as possible. And of course, touches also the part of interoperability.
Yeah, that's something that we start talking, or at the middle of this speech we talk about. That is something relevant also. So there is, I think, I was waiting if someone else would give us the inputs. but it seems like we have finished and keep it in quality-related issues, interoperability, supply efficiency, and machine upgrades. Like this is the rank that we have. So, Miguel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. For all, we'll now pass to the final remarks that Elena will start, but to know that this information will be available, and so then you can contact the others, Miguel and Fernando Vasconcelos and João Oliveira, to more questions. But Elena, you can start with final remarks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for joining us today and for your active participation. Our thanks go to our three speakers for their presentations. This sharing each brought additional value to this session, is my opinion. Thank you very much. And we truly appreciate the time and effort you took to share your knowledge with us. I also want to thank each participant for their involvement. The questions and contributions made this workshop a dynamic experience. If any of you are interested in contacting our speakers for future discussion or collaboration, you can use the contact information provided during their presentations, or you can contact us and we'll be happy to facilitate the connection. Presentations will be shared with all of you after this session. And if you want to review the workshop, it will be available on the project YouTube channel. We can share with you too. Before we close, I would like to inform you about an excellent financing opportunity for the xBUILD project. A funding call is currently open to support initiatives in innovation, internationalization, and promotion of green and digital transformation. More details about this call will be shared here in this chat. If you are interested in exploring this opportunity, please do not hesitate to contact our partnership for more information. Thanks again to everyone for coming and participating, and we hope to reconnect at future events. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.